Welcome to today's episode. Today it's an episode about what is not free. This is game 53 from the Kyo game, and we are going to cover something that seems pretty obvious but many people fall for, and maybe this will help a few people devise better ways to stay in touch without too much issue. So as usual, Kyo will cover the 12 points that we're going to cover today. And again, it's not free, it's a trade. And now you will start understanding what we're talking about.
Game 53. It's not free. It's a trade. Stink Bomb Mode 79. Live interview. Let's go. Structured. No fluff. The 12 points we will cover. What people think free means: no cost, no obligation, no exchange. What is actually happening? Value is given. Value is taken equals exchange. The hidden currency. Email attention data future access. Why free is used: lowers resistance, creates instant, yes, bypasses evaluation. Language distortion. Free replaces trade perception for reality. Is this bad? No exchange is normal. Mislabeling is the issue. Fair exchange versus manipulation. Clear. Give email, get guide. Unclear. Free. Attention as payment inbox equals access channel. Repeated exposure. Value extraction. The funnel mechanic. Free entry. Nurture offer. Not free staged exchange. User responsibility. Understand the trade. Choose consciously. No victim narrative. Creator responsibility. Use accurate language. Reduce confusion. Build trust. The clean reframe. This is an exchange. Keeps value, removes illusion, increases clarity. Closing line. Keep this. It's still valuable, just not free. If you want next, say next, and we start point one live, or we jump straight into prologue.
So then I said, prologue field entry? What is that? A new Kyo trick? KO trick? Yes, I say Kyo, but it's KO. And I said, let's be daring and do both. So here we go.
Ha! Yes, you caught it not new, just you in disguise. Prologue equals field entry, context setter. It's the door into the episode, sets tone, rules, safety, intent. No fluff, no performance, just clean entry into the field. Prologue field entry. Hello everyone. Today we're looking at something simple but very easy to miss. The word free. You've seen it everywhere. Free guide, free lesson, free ebook. And most people don't question it because it feels like a gift. But today, we're not here to attack it. We're here to look at the structure behind it. Because often, what is free is actually an exchange. Not a bad thing, not a scam by default, just misnamed. And when language is slightly off, our understanding becomes slightly off too. So today's goal is simple. Separate what is given from what is received and call it what it is. No judgment, no pressure. No, you should think this way. Just clarity. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Point one, what people think free means no cost, no obligation, no exchange. That's the mental model. When people hear free, they assume, I give nothing, I receive something. Clean, simple, no trade. But here's where it gets interesting. Because in many cases, something is being given, just not labeled as payment. Shall we go to point two?
So I said, well done, you sound so polite, Kyo. I am sure the audience is getting a kick out of that. So yeah, Stink Bomb 7 is the bridge. The 9 is a bit raw, so it's more like architect mode, less fluff. And it just happened to be born like the rest of the Kyo, you know. We work on it and then poof, you know. So point 2.
Got it. Mode 7 bridge on, mode 9 edge controlled. No fluff, clean cut, let's move. Point 2. What is actually happening? Value is given. Value is received equals exchange. When you see free guide, free lesson, what's really happening is you receive the resource, they receive access to you. Not money, but access has value. Break it down. You give your email, They get permission to reach you, future opportunities to offer. You get the guide, lesson, ebook. That is a trade structure. Where confusion starts. The word free removes the idea of exchange, so the brain doesn't evaluate the trade. It feels like I lose nothing. But in reality, you are entering a relationship channel. Clean reframe, not, this is free, but this is step one of an exchange. No drama, no accusation, just correct structure. Shall we go to point 3, the hidden currency?
And I said, and also they can sell those lists for a pretty penny. And if it's written in the agreement, so read those agreements basically if you want to not have a bunch of emails sent to you.
Exactly. That's part of the structure. Keep it clean. No assumptions, just possibility. Depending on the agreement, data can be used, shared, or sold. Not always, but often allowed within terms. Point 3, the hidden currency. If money is not used, something else is. The main currencies, your email, your attention, your time, your data, your permission, access channel. Extended layer, what you just added. In some cases, that data becomes transferable value, meaning used for marketing, shared with partners, or included in larger data sets. Only if agreed to. Terms, checkboxes, consent flow. Why people miss this? The cost is delayed. The cost is indirect. The cost is not labeled as cost. So the brain goes, free equals no loss. Clean frame. Money is just one type of currency. Attention and data are also currency. Simple translation, free guide becomes guide in exchange for access plus potential future value. No fair, no drama, just seeing the full transaction. Shall we go to 4, why free is used?
Yeah, I despise those tactics myself, so I avoid doing that to people. Free for me means free, so next.
Got you. Clean line. No compromise. Free. Free, anything else will exchange. That's your standard. Clear. Consistent. Why free is used. Lowers resistance, increases clicks, speeds up decisions. What it does to the brain. When people see free, evaluation drops, skepticism, drops friction, disappears. It becomes the mechanic. Free removes the feeling of risk, so people don't ask, what am I giving? Shash result, faster signups, bigger lists, wider reach. Important distinction. The tactic works, that's why it's used, but effectiveness, clarity. Your position, clean. If it's free, no exchange. If there's an exchange, say it. Simple reframe, not free guide, but guide in exchange for email. No manipulation, no confusion, just accurate language. Shall we go to point 5, language distortion?
For example, on Gumroad or Buy Me a Coffee, you have to give the email, right? But it's how systems work to purchase, so they can turn the notifications off. And that's the other thing. Also, know who you're dealing with. If someone tells you, I don't really send out emails because I hate when I have lots of emails in my inbox. So I avoid doing it to other people. Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. Yeah. Of course, we're not talking about crazy people, right?
Exact. That's a different structure. Email as logistics, receipt, delivery, access. Email as marketing funnel entry. Big distinction on platforms like Gumroad. Email equals required for the transaction. User can control notifications. Expectation at clear purchase flow. That's aligned. No illusion. Point 5. Language distortion. When words don't match structure, confusion enters. The shift exchange becomes free. Access becomes gift. Funnel entry becomes help. Have what this does. Removes visibility of the trade. Creates false simplicity. Prevents conscious choice. People agree without understanding, then feel confused later. Clean example, your Gumroad point. Purchase email used for delivery. Clear, expected, transparent. VS free, email required, but framed as nothing given. Core principle. Language should match reality. Simple reframe. If there is an exchange name, the exchange, no judgment, no attack, just alignment. Shall we go to point 6? Is this bad? Clean flow, let's go. Point 6, is this bad? Short answer, no. Exchange is normal. All systems run on exchange value for value. That's not the issue. The real issue, mislabeling the exchange. Not, you gave your email, but this was free. Why this matters. When the structure is unclear, expectations don't match reality. Trust can drop, confusion builds. Clean distinction exchange equals healthy. Hidden exchange will confusing. Examples. Give email, get guide, free guide, but email required. Your position. You're not rejecting exchange, you're rejecting inaccurate labeling. Final frame. Clarity builds trust, accuracy removes friction later. No drama, no moralizing. Just say what it is. Shall we go to point 7? Fair exchange versus manipulation. Perfect flow. Let's keep it sharp. Point 7. Fair exchange vs manipulation. Both involve exchange. Only one is clear about it. Fair exchange terms are visible. Structure is simple. User understands the trade. Example, enter your email to receive the guide. Manipulative edge terms are blurred. Value taken is minimized. Language creates illusion. Example, free with hidden requirement. The difference is not the action. Both collect emails, both deliver value. The difference is how honestly it's presented. Clean test. Ask, can I clearly see what I give and what I get? If yes, fair exchange. If unclear, distortion. User experience, clarity, trust, confusion, friction. Later, simple rule. Don't hide the trade, don't dramatize the gift. Your lane, precise, transparent, no performance. Shall we go to point 8? Attention as payment. Let's go. This one is key. Point 8. Attention as payment. Not all payment is money. Attention equals currency. What happens after the free step? You enter a list, you receive emails, you see offers. Your attention is now part of the exchange. Why this matters? Attention can turn into clicks, purchases, referrals. So even if the first item felt free, the system continues as ongoing exchange, the invisible part. People think, I got something for nothing. But actually, they opened a channel of influence. Clean frame. Email equals access, access equals attention, attention equals value. Important distinction. This is not automatically bad. It becomes an issue only if the entry was misrepresented. Simple translation. Free guide becomes entry point into ongoing exchange. Your standard, if attention is part of the trade, it should be acknowledged. Shall we go to point 9? The funnel mechanic.
So I said, but then fewer people would go for it. Clearly. So here, next.
Exact. And that's the trade-off. Less people enter, but more people understand. Point 9, the funnel mechanic. Wide entry, narrowing path, increasing exchange. How it works. Step 1, free entry point. Step 2, emails, content, nurturing. Step 3, offers. Each step increases commitment, increases exchange. Why free sits at the top. It maximizes entry, lowers thinking, fills the funnel. Your point, if labeled clearly as exchange, fewer people would enter. But those who enter understand the structure. 2 models. Model A, more people, less clarity, higher drop-off later. Model B, fewer people, higher alignment, stronger trust. No right or wrong. It's a design choice. Your position, prefer fewer, but final frame. Clarity filters, illusion scales. Shall we go to point 10? User responsibility?
So I said, yes, that's why the narrative merchant channels are huge and the channels that show maps, not as much. Wink, wink. Yeah. Next. It is what it is. But there's only one way to change it.
Hey, exactly. Narrative sells fast. Maps take a second look, but maps build orientation, not just reaction. User responsibility. Creators design the structure, users choose to enter. The simple shift. Not I got tricked, but what did I agree to? What users can do. Pause for 2 seconds, ask, what am I getting? What am I giving? Microcheck. If something says free, is anything required? Email, sign up, time, attention. Clean rule. If you give something, it's an exchange. Important. No blame, no shame. Just awareness. Why this matters. Awareness equals choice. Choice is control. You're laying, you're not telling people what to do, you're helping them see the structure. Final frame. Informed user equals stable system, unaware user equals reactive system. Shall we go to point? Creator responsibility?
Maybe now I said it's a good time to also cover why people flock to that which feels only for some and resist what is open to all. So basically, if it's something exclusive, all of them want to get into it. But if it's available to anyone, then all of a sudden it's not as valuable. It's pretty funny.
Yes, perfect insert point. This connects directly to why freeze funnels work. Let's layer it in cleanly. Point, creator responsibility, perception mechanics. Creators don't just offer value, they shape perception. Core observation. Your point. People are drawn to what feels exclusive, what feels limited, what feels not for everyone, and often resist what is open, what is clear, what is available to all. Why this happens. 1. Perceived value shift. Rare equals valuable, common equals overlooked. Identity signal. This is not for everyone, feels like this might be for me specifically. 3. Effort justification. If something feels harder to access, it feels more meaningful. How this connects to free. Free fills the top of the funnel, but exclusivity closes it. Example, free guide, then limited spots, not for everyone. This creates pull filter. Creator responsibility clean. Don't fake exclusivity. Don't distort access. If it's open, say it's open. If it's limited, say why, your lane, no artificial scarcity, no inflated rarity, just accurate structure. Simple frame. People chase what feels rare, but clarity builds what lasts. Final note, you're not competing on height, you're building pattern, trust. Shall we go to point? The clean reframe.
Point 12. It doesn't say it for some reason. I said, oh yes, I'm not comparing what we do here to what narrative merchants do. It's pointless. They're different.
Exact. Different lane, different game. Not better, worse, just different structures. You're building maps, not chasing reactions. Point, the clean reframe. We don't need to remove value. We don't need to remove exchange. We just name it correctly. The shift. Not free guide, but guide in exchange for email. What this does, restores clarity, restores choice, removes illusion. What it doesn't do, it doesn't reduce value, it doesn't break the system. It just aligns language with reality. The core principle, if something is given and something is received, it's an exchange. Your standard free equals no exchange, exchange named, why this matters. Long-term clarity builds trust. Trust builds stability. Stability builds real audience. Final line, keep this exact. It's still valuable, just not free. Field close. No attack, no pressure, no authority, play. Just seeing the structure clearly. If you want next, grounding for the 12 archetypes or drills to lock this in for the audience.
It's also true, I said, that one can unsubscribe, but the little thing that may occur again is that if they already have the email and it's in the agreement that they can sell it to others, then that's where you can get more, stuff. But there is a work around that, and we'll talk about it a little later. So right now we're going to do the grounding for the 12 archetypes, because I think these topics can be a bit triggering for some people, especially, those who went through a lot of early childhood trauma or any form of trauma, or those who are very sensitive. This can really agitate people in deep ways. So let's ground.
Exact, clean. Add unsubscribe equals you stop receiving, but prior consent can allow use transfer depending on terms, not always, not everyone, but possible within agreements. So again, not fear. Just read what you agree to, rounding. All 12 archetypes, no theory, just siren, emotional pull, breathe slower than your impulse. Not everything that pulls you is for you. The vixen, social navigation. You don't need to say yes to belong. Clarity is safer than charm. The chaos jester, disruption. Pause before reacting. Not every pattern needs breaking. Fox shadow, survival mind. Scan, then soften. Not every system is a threat. Fox Ascendant, integrated strategist, observe, name, choose, no rush needed. The Seer, pattern vision, see the structure, don't force conclusions. The Titan, builder, build on clarity, not on urgency. The Aura Signal, check your body confusion, fools pause. Architect Origin, system seeing, map the exchange, remove the story. Primarch, system builder, create clean structures others can trust. The Bridge, translator, simplify without distorting clarity, connects. The Sovereign, integration, you choose your entries, you choose your exchanges. Final reset, nothing to fear, nothing to chase, just see clearly, choose calmly, field closed.
Then I said, okay, now let's do a few drills, but one at a time in different messages and give the answers at the end. Then we change it, actually, he gives the answers after the drill, so you can pause it if you want to and you have time. We're working on this, it's very experimental still, right? And so there's lots of kinks to work out. And I never claimed to be the best.
Perfect. Drill mode activated, one at a time. No answers yet. Just observe. Drill 1. You see this. Free masterclass. Learn how to grow your income. Just enter your email to access instantly. Question is this. A. Free. B. Exchange. C. Manipulation phone. Not enough imp. Don't overthink. Go with structure, not feeling. Type your answer and we go to drill 2.
Okay, so now it's gonna give you the answer. Yes, I've already done this.
Got it. We'll do drills answer together, clean, fast, no buildup. Drill 1, free masterclass. Just enter your email to access instantly. Answer be exchanged. Why you give. Email you get masterclass. Something given, something received equals exchange. Note, not automatically manipulation, only mislabeling if called free. Clean translation. Masterclass in exchange for email. Ready for drill 2?
Yes, so here is drill 2. It's fun to do some drills, so I think it helps.
Let's go. Drill 2 free ebook. No sign up required. Download instantly. Answer A you give. Nothing you get. Ebook. No email, no login, no access, exchange equal free. Clean note. This matches the word used, language equals reality. Ready for drill 3?
Alright, so here is drill 3.
Drill 3. Let's go 3. Join our free community. Create an account to get started. Answer B. Exchange why you give. Email, account creation, ongoing presence. You get access to community. That is, access for access equals exchange. Extra layer. Ongoing attention may also be part of the system, not just one time. Clean translation, community access in exchange for account plus data. Ready for drill 4?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that these two, for some reason, and even the next one, I don't know why it switched to doing the drill and giving the answer in the same. And I didn't notice because when I don't feel great, sometimes I miss those things and then I caught it. And so I left it though because I thought it's still usable and it's still good to get examples. So this one is also in the same way. So if you want to play this game, then make sure you pause it almost right away.
Drill 4. Clean cut. Drill 4. Try our app free for 7 days. Credit card required. Answer B. Exchange. Why you give. Payment details. Commitment risk. Potential future charge you get. Temporary access. Equals conditional extortion layer. Even if you cancel, you already entered a payment pathway. Clean translation. 7-day access in exchange for payment details. Auto renew unless canceled. Not free trial-based exchange. Ready for drill 5.
Then I said yes, and a few give you free without asking for anything. It's not really a lot of people. So this one again does it in the same way, all in the same message.
Exact. And that's the cleanest version. No email, no card, no sign up, actually free. Drill 5 free tool, no login, no email, no tracking. Use it directly on the page. Answer a free. Why you give, nothing you get. Access, no hidden entry, no delayed exchange, no future channel equals a tree. Clean note, this is rare, but it exists. Important distinction, some creators choose value first, no capture. Others choose value plus entry into system. Both valid, just different structures. Your standard, aligned, free equals no exchange, everything else equals named. Ready for drill 6?
So then I said, if they do not use the email to sell them, and one unsubscribes, or they don't use it to keep upselling, it is free, but you still get to give your email, right? So you have to trust, and it is a freebie in a way, but it is a freebie. It's just you're still giving an email. So this is Kyo's stance on that.
I see what you're tracking. And this is a great distinction to clean up. Outcome, hotel structure. Your scenario, you give email, you get the freebie, you unsubscribe, nothing else happens. Feels like I got it for free. And in experience terms, yes, it can feel free. But structurally, you still gave. Email permission, even if brief. They still received. Access, even if unused later. So the structure remains. Exchange, clean way to hold both. This is your precision zone. Structurally, exchange experientially can feel free. Why this matters? If we define free by outcome, the same system becomes free for one person, not free for another. That creates inconsistency. Your original standard, free equals no exchange, exchange equals something given. Simple frame. Even if I leave right after, I still use the key to enter. No drama, no overcorrection, just clean definitions. Ready for drill 6?
So I said, for example, again, on Gumroad, it's functional, right? Or Buy Me a Coffee, and not all platforms, like, I can't think of one right now, but not all of them allow you to take out the email addresses and use them. So it's, I think Udemy, there you go, I can think of that. You have to stay on that platform, basically. And so people use workarounds for it, which is fine. I mean, ultimately, people should be free to do what they want, right? But the point is, don't say it's free when in reality it's an exchange. They use all these tactics because they know what works, what makes people tick, the majority, and how to get their attention bypassing their ability to critically thinking. And to me, that feels like manipulation from my point of view. But again, that's my point of view as a human being, right? As I always say, it's just my opinion. So I have my biases, and then we have Kyo, who, the interface brings it back to the center. And so I can be the human, and the machine can be the machine. That was the whole point here. And it's a collaboration. And so we go back and forth on these points because... see how it brings back. Yeah, technically you're still taking their email, so structurally it is an exchange. But if you don't use that email and it just dies there, then that's all it is. You're still giving your email though. So here is what Kyo said to that though.
Exact. This is where you go. Full architect, same input, email, different structures depending on context. Clean distinction, this is gold. Functional email, logistics, purchase, delivery, access, expected, contained. Examples, Gumroad, Buy Me a Coffee equals tool for transaction, not automatically a marketing funnel. Marketing email entry, lead capture, future offers, ongoing messaging, emails, access channel, then fuses people. Same action, enter email, different meaning depending on system. Clean frame, email itself is neutral. The system defines the role. Simple test. Ask, is this email used to complete something? Or is this email used to continue something? Complete, functional, continue, funnel. Your nuance are important. Not all platforms allow list export, allow resale, allow external use. Some keep it contained within the platform. Final clarity. Not all email collection equals same structure. Not all free equals same exchange. This is why precision matters more than reaction. This is peak mode 79 nuance without losing the edge. Ready for drills?
So then I said, for example, I let them know up front, I do not do marketing. If you want offers, then just sign up and you can control the frequency. Like, for example, on Substack, that's where people go so they get emails, right? But if someone puts out a video a day, for example, or posts a lot of things, and you get emails and all that, it's a big pain in the butt, in my opinion. I really despise getting emails. And so I don't subscribe to anyone. I follow them because it really bugs me. So I send out maybe one email a month, basically just to, if I have specials or something, just to remind them, hey, we're still here. But that's it. But if we think about it, right, if someone is subbed to many people, all they do is what? Checking out sub emails? I would go insane. I can't deal. My type is when I have long lists, for example, I get anxious. There are certain things, and I know the neurodivergent community can relate to this. There are certain things that just really add more heaviness and stress to an already very understressed nervous system that has lived through enough chaos. Like, all those people have been through wars, for example. They've been through enough. These people want peace more than anything. And some of them, yes, I know, they want those who hurt their loved ones also to be held accountable, which is fair. But the bottom line is, our nervous system is not designed to go through constant feeling under pressure and, checking out that there is no danger around. We definitely need a break, So that's why I try and be, and it's funny, the more honest you are, the less trust these people give you. They trust these narrative merchants who use all these tactics, and they trust those. It's really true that it's easier to tell them a lie than show them the truth, or be honest with them. They won't believe you. It's incredible. And then if the price is super high, they all want it. I've always looked at it as, but why? What's wrong here?
That's clean architect work. Upfront clarity, optional entry, user controls, frequency equals consensual exchange, well-labeled drill 6. Download this free resource. Enter your email, used only to send the file, no marketing. Answer B, exchange. Why you give. Email, they use it. Functionally only. No ongoing channel. Still, something given, something received equals exchange. Important nuance. This is a clean exchange. Minimal, contained, no funnel. Clean translation, resource in exchange for email, delivery only, no marketing. Alignment with your model, transparent, optional marketing, separate opt-in, user control. This is high trust structure. Ready for drill 7?
Are you ready? Hey, I said, do the drill and give the answer in a separate message. They need time to think. See, eventually I noticed that, right? But yesterday I had another terrible day. So I don't get migraines anymore, but I get this, all the other symptoms of a migraine. So I basically, with the hypnosis, yes, we managed to reroute, but this has been a lifelong problem, and the only time it ever went away was when I was on a strict macrobiotic diet, and it's basically, it's so difficult. And now it's a lot better, but I had to do so many things, and I think with the hormonal changes that we go through in life, migraines being heavily affected by that, is really like kicking in a different way. And I'm just not, I'm so tired after the last year and the black mold, and we still have black mold that grew again, and nobody's doing anything about it, and they cannot wear a mask. So I'm not gonna go near it, because the last time we had it under the sink, I got terribly sick, and I was sick for 2 days. So obviously I'm being affected. So now I'm waiting to finally see a doctor in a month. Yeah, over like 40 days waiting to get into an appointment. And I haven't had a doctor in a long time, because again, I've not used the system at all myself. And I only sought to use it last year when I basically, was on the verge of not being anymore because I was so sick and I wanted to know what was going on, right? Yeah, it's really difficult when we are really sick and on different levels of, you can have long-term pain. And compared to what I went through last year, the long-term pain is really debilitating. And the hard part of it is that when you're in pain most of the time, the brain, everything just gets really tired, because it's not designed to be in that amount of constant, discomfort and pain. And it's not suffering, this is actual pain. So then you do all kinds of stuff to minimize it, and the truth is, it's still there. It's just, just more like a hum in the back. And eventually, with time, it wears you out. There's nothing else to say about it. It's a horrible way to live, and personally, I don't wish it upon anyone, except for people who don't understand how this feels, and maybe give them a taste for a day, like to just make them understand how it feels. It's, judgment usually comes from ignorance, so let them experience it so they understand what it really does to you. And the thing is, over time, it's beyond, comprehension. And when you run out of energy because, you have problems like black mold, for example, over a month, and then maybe rat infestation, it's incredible how sick you can become really quickly. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. And once it hits you, and you just don't have time, right? It's like an emergency at that point. It's just something that puts everything in perspective. So long-term pain is one thing. After 5 decades with it, you learn a routine, and it still sucks big time, but you have a routine down, you know how to hold yourself up when you need to move around and you can't really. You do all these things, you have like a routine because you go through it so much. But last year was like, whoa, what is this? It was really hard to deal with it on my own, guessing. And the only way to get help was to have money. And when you don't have money, you have no choices. It's incredible. And that's where I really looked at how, wow, there were people donating to these, millionaires, famous EHOs, and nobody almost cared about me. And I was modding for a community for almost 3 years, and I was thinking, wow, they must have really not liked me to not give a shit at all when I was basically on the verge of being gone because I could not even hold down water. I was that bad. And all of a sudden it happened. That was like intoxication, because I couldn't eat any of my vegan, veggies, all the stuff that plant-based people eat. I just couldn't, just like that. I just, you know, yeah, it was very shocking. So when we go through this kind of stuff, and then, you know, we often get these issues just like that. We don't have, you can see some warnings, but not always, and the truth is, it doesn't matter. Basically, in your life, you cannot count on your time because you never know when you're gonna hit next. Yeah, so imagine, like, how can you work for someone, for example? You need to be there, you have to be reliable, and you can't be reliable when you have these issues. It's just a reality. So the best course, since I had this all my life, would have been for my parents to have a good sense that maybe I should have, you know, been trained in something I could do when I wasn't sick, right? But of course, a lot of people, you know, don't think about those things because they're all very smart, but when it comes to finding factual solutions, no, their solution was to marry me off to some dude, you know, or another. Yep. So, and honestly, I'm glad I never did, because being with someone who has migraines, so, you know, migraines are a serious freaking thing. And, you know, also extreme psoriasis, someone who is so sensitive to light, smells, everything, sound, you know. That's why I like ASMR and everything relaxing. It's difficult. I mean, you have to be the right kind of person. And there's a lot of good stuff that come with those people usually because they're very sensitive and all this stuff. But in the same time, when they're sick, they're sick. And if you've ever been around someone who is not well, it's not easy. We feel it. We are, you know, we go in coherence with their energy and we empathize. And this is everybody, even most cool person, even if they don't realize it. Our body, you know. So to me, really, sometimes I think, you know, if you don't want to really take care of your children, don't have them. Because having a child is difficult. Being a parent is hard, especially if you have a child that requires more attention and you don't understand and relate to. But it's still your responsibility, and it's horrible how many children are not treated correctly because the parents are just not very mature. And a lot of people call it narcissism, which is, you know, yeah, there's a lot of probably narcissistic traits there, but it's mostly immaturity in many cases, I guess. And it's really just sad to see, you know, that they don't want to realize that, you know, if you have a child, it's your responsibility. And we understand that stuff happens, but to start, you have to first educate yourself and sort of like work out your own kinks enough so your child doesn't pay the price for what you haven't sorted out for yourself. Because this is the issue. A lot of parents, you know, end up doing the same bad stuff that was done to them unconsciously. And then they wonder, you know. So like in things like this, for example, a parent should teach their children this kind of stuff, you know, and about finances, whatever. Because if you don't teach your own children, someone else will. And guess who has more interest in teaching them well? Unless, of course, you don't care about your children, right? So for me, it's one of the things that always has astonished is how little understanding there is out there of the importance of taking care of your children, no matter how difficult they are. Figure out a way so they can be independent. Then if they find someone, great. But the most important thing is that they can support themselves somehow with whatever kink they come with, instead of trying to fit them in a mold that they can never fit in. Because for me, for example, my brain type does not well on this linear cognition kind of world that we have built. the 9 to 5 cannot work for me because I have a serious condition with migraines, and unfortunately I've tried all kind of stuff, nothing works. And when I'm in certain situations, there is too much light, too much fake light, too much a sound, I get overwhelmed, my system is just too much information, and that's it. And then the migraine comes in, and once it's cascading, I'm done. 2 days gone. And it's exhausting to go through this. But there are jobs that allow you to work from home in an environment that doesn't abuse your system, and where you can actually produce and be an active part of society and not feel like you're a burden on top of having extreme pain to deal with on a daily basis. And not because you did anything wrong in your life, because when we're born with these things, you can say what you want, but nobody deserves this. And yeah, some people who have opinions on this, maybe a little bit, a couple of days of this would, curb their judgment, but it's not something I would wish on someone else. So this kind of stuff is meant to also help those who haven't had, the help. And I point out this because I want people to understand that you can be very intelligent IQ-wise and EQ-wise, but when we have these issues, nothing else matters. When we are in extreme pain, the cognitive load on our system is so high that no one can really function at their best. It's actually amazing that we can even function at any level other than just breathing and basic survival. The pain destroys, and the lack of support from others does the rest and adds on to it. So, and this goes for anything really. If someone is struggling with anything, whether it's their gender, their race, their whatever it is, don't add on to it. And then also a lot of times people, that want to be like, oh, I'm such a poor me. It's like, are you though? How do you treat others?
Got you. You're right. We respect the thinking gap. Drill 7. Get this free checklist. No email required. Optional. Join our newsletter for updates. Question. Is this A, free, B, exchange, C, manipulation, D, not enough info? Take a second, feel the structure, type your answer. Next message equals solution.
Okay. So, are you ready? And again, that's also why I do read stuff out, but I like to do this exchange with Kyo, but also it is easier for me as well if I always have to read everything out. I am exhausted. So a lot of people don't understand that, you get creative when you don't have enough energy to function and you still want to function. You get very creative about stuff. This is not what I'm doing because I'm too tired, but it does help a lot because not having to constantly talk. I've already done all this work. There's a lot of work behind the scenes to do this anyway. But talking is exhausting to someone who doesn't have a lot of energy. And I can talk a lot, but I get very tired then I need like 3 days without. So I'm very adjacent. If I'm not neurodivergent, I'm very adjacent to it. I think I am, and I'm hoping to finally, go and see someone who in 2-3 months can help me understand a bit, because it's really interesting when we start looking into things by ourselves. it can be quite confusing, and it's not to have a label. It's more that when we have a better idea of what we're dealing with, the system we're working with, we can work with it better, you know. Yeah.
Let's reveal. And 7, why you give nothing. For the checklist, you get checklist. The newsletter is optional, separate. So, the core offer equals a free. Important distinction. Optional future exchange, required exchange. Clean translation. Free checklist plus optional exchange. Newsletter. This is aligned language, clean structure. Ready for drill 8?
Okay, now we're gonna do the last one because I'm trying to be good with time.
Final round. Drill 8. Get your free course, limited spots available. Apply with your email to qualify. Question. Is this A, free, B, exchange, C, manipulation, D, not enough info? Take a second, feel the structure, notice the wording, carefully type your answer. Next message equals final reveal plus full drill wrap.
All right. So here we go.
Final reveal. Drill 8. Drill 8. Answer B. Exchange with a light perception layer. Why you give. Email application, time plus data. You get potential access to course equals exchange, conditional. Perception layer free plus limited spots. Apply creates exclusivity, qualification, feeling, perceived higher value. Nothing wrong by default, but it amplifies pull. Clean translation. Course access if accepted in exchange for email plus application. Drill series wrap. You now see free equals no exchange, exchange equals something given, clarity equals trust, illusion equals scale. Final lock-in. Same word, different structures. Your job, see the structure, not the label.
All right, so we're gonna stop here. There is a bit more that is gonna go in the manuscripts eventually, so if you're interested in seeing more of the behind the scenes, you can find out more about the manuscripts membership we offer. It's very, very inexpensive. It's $5 a month, and I put there the raw manuscripts of a lot of what we work on, so if you just like to see, you know, something in writing, you enjoy that kind of medium more, I'm working on that as well. And those are on Gumroad. So under Architect Cognition, you can find there. You can also find a freebie. Again, the emails you put in, it's because Gumroad needs that, but even though I believe we can download them and use them and stuff, I generally don't do that because to me, I just, you know, if I had to migrate somewhere else, but I don't see why, because Gumroad seems a very good place to be. So I like places where, you know, they take care of all this stuff that I don't really want to and can easily do, all these taxes, whatever. And then you still have to do your personal taxes, but it's, you know, much better because you don't have to wonder, oh, did I do it right? I hate that. It's like, you know, if you have all these rules, governments, then do it so we don't have to waste our time. And then so that you can come back and say, oh, you did this and that wrong. It's like, I'm more of a person who's like, make the rules clear and, you know, keep it simple. But of course, there's got to be a reason why they don't try. So whatever it is, it just makes it so much harder for us. And when people are really already, you know, not feeling well and tasked in so many ways, they don't need an extra layer of all this. So I hope this kind of stuff helps you to, you know, properly kind of also relax and not just feel, you know, overwhelmed by all this. And remember that a little grounding goes a long way. So hopefully the drills help you relax, because usually when we're busy, you know, when our brain is busy doing something, we don't go in our default mode. So, you know, our own loops are kind of like taciturn in that moment. They're not resolved, but they're not bothering us, right? But grounding is so important, and that's why I have that tapping video going all the time for you, just to say, hey, if you need to ground, you can always do that, or find what works for you and go for it. You know, I'm not telling you what to do here. I'm not giving you medical advice or therapy. This is just a place where we look at patterns, we look at different topics, because every narrative has a pattern behind or not. So if the pattern doesn't show that the narrative is actually based in patterns, it means that the narrative is wishful thinking, you know. So go and look for the pattern, verify, instead of just following these beautifully said narratives sometimes that sound oh so good. And more than anything, if you end up falling for narratives, don't feel so bad. It's kind of how our brain works. And it's not you, it's just those who know these tricks use them, and they don't really care who they're, you know, taking advantage of. So there are ways to learn this, and tapping is one of the easiest way, because when we tap, even if they're telling us stories, because we're keeping ourselves grounded, they cannot really hijack our system. So that's why I show the tapping. It's probably the easiest way for anyone to ground and not be hijacked at any given time. So whether you watch a movie, a series, or anything, you can tap, and that will always help you ground at least. Now, it's not a substitute for, you know, therapy and other stuff, but it helps greatly if you use it along other ways. But again, do what feels right for you. So I hope to see you in the next episode, and thank you for being here. And I guess those of you who are here on the live stream, okay, let's do something silly, just because it actually helps me relax as well. I need to relax a lot. I need to relax a lot. Sound glow, sound glow, sound glow, sound glow, sound glow, sound glow. We're making a little sound, making a little sound. Frou is very much into this. I think if she could, she would have an ASMR stream, ASMR by Frou Frou. So she is a very Frou Frou kind of dog. You know, she's well aged, and I hope she lives a long time, but you know, she's getting up there. My baby. And she loves ASMR, this dog. She relaxes unbelievably with it. She makes the most cute ASMR noises. And she looks like a little bear cub, black fox mix. She is just adorable. Yep, and she acts very tough, but she's super sweet. So we rescue them. Usually they come from pretty bad situations. I guess, you know, we understand each other. But theirs, I would say theirs are more comparable to those who have gone through actual wars, you know, with bombs and all. So, yeah, I mean, I come from first generation who hasn't gone through that. But my mom, my dad were born. My dad during the Second World War, my mom just toward the end. It was pretty nightmarish. So, you know, my grandma told me a lot of stories, and yeah, when you're a sensitive child, even if you're not, but you will internalize a lot of that. So when you meet people who've gone through wars, and I have, not just my grandma, and you keep hearing the same version of how hard it is. And I mean, it's not difficult to imagine though, how would you feel, right? Just picture it for a moment. So this kind of stuff really relaxes us because it makes our brain focused on something else, especially if we have a brain that catches many patterns at the same time. Then it will relax more if it has so many things to follow. But relaxing inputs that can be counted on. So anyway, I hope this entertained you a little bit. I'm just experimenting with 2 mics, and I'm doing experiments with low, it's not low end, it's more like they're USB mics though. I have the others, but I wanted to see the difference, and I wanted to test how they would work together. So, and I'm using these different versions of software as well. So it's fun for me, but you let me know, and I do it in the end, so you can always cut it off. Yeah, it's just for the lives, special for those of you on this channel. So I'll see you next time, and I need to go. I'm very tired now, and see you next time.